Well, welcome to season 3 of Deurama Unnie, the K-drama Aterparty Podcast. We're officially back, and we're back with a new co-host for the season, Pauli.
Hello, everyone. Please forgive me. I had a crazy night out last night, and I am a bit hungover. I hung out with my homegirls. We had Pooms. Yesterday was Lo's birthday. Shout out Lo. Happy birthday. She's my coworker, and she works in collections.
Oh, it's a person.
Yeah, like her nickname is Pumbaa, but
I don't need to know what her job and all that stuff is.
This is her address, by the way. And also, I met her cousin, Za. Shout out to Za, too, if you're listening. Anyways, where was I going with that?
I don't know. You were telling us that you had a night out. And when you get to a certain age, a night out is really gonna show on your body the next day.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for that age. We'll find out when that happens. TBD.
Oh, okay. Because I'm pretty sure you've been found out.
I did not find out.
But
I didn't fuck around and find out.
What's actually funny is getting this show recorded today. I almost quit, and I don't know about you. I was like, we did a practice setup last week to make sure that everything was good to go.
Yeah.
And then I just thought that we were gonna go in here, switch out some wires to make them longer and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you had allotted an hour for us.
Yeah, I was done. We've been here now. It's 2:36. We've been here. I've been here. I got here at 11:55. We've been here now for over 2 hours just trying to get things to work. And so anyways,
but we make it look effortless, so
yeah. You can see the effort on me. I did not make it look effortless. I was ready to be you know what, maybe we don't need a podcast. Maybe not everyone needs a podcast.
I can't remember who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, I feel like Utah just has so many podcasts, and they're little niche podcasts." And I was like, "What you trying to say?"
There's no one like us, though.
That's facts.
We're unique, and if they are, stay in the dark. Okay, so we recorded what we kind of planned to be a chemistry test, so just to see how things would flow with having two people hosting.
And figuring out the mechanicals, which
and
we
figuring
still
all that kind of stuff, which
we're still playing with.
Yeah.
Not yeah.
What was I gonna say? So when we did that, we picked a show to watch so we can kind of see how the episode would flow, and we picked The Glory, and we watched 4 episodes.
And I was addicted. I was feeling it.
And we talked about that in the episode that might never ever get dropped.
If we find the device that's housing it, it'll come out.
This device is playing a game with me. It has to be, because I don't think anyone took it. I think it's somewhere. But yeah, we might never release that. It has our initial thoughts and stuff like that. But
we did the first 4 episodes.
Yeah, so we're gonna, I guess, get right into. We finished the rest of Glory, so today's episode we'll just be talking about our final thoughts and on The Glory to kind of wrap it up.
And I think you're gonna go over with the audience the predictions that we made, and if any of them are correct, right?
Yeah, but we're gonna go over it with the audience. I'm not just here to just read stuff. We're gonna read together.
You're trying to put the co and co-host.
Yeah. Your co has to pay off.
And I'm like, oh, I'm a special guest.
Special guest. Okay, so first of all, The Glory is, how would you, if you were to explain it to somebody, what would you say show? How would you describe the show?
I would say at its base level, it's a revenge drama. And I would say that this woman is getting hers. She is coming for the people that bullied her as a teen. The revenge took 17 or 18 years, which I could never dedicate myself to. That's why I don't have kids. I'm not trying to do nothing for 18 years, even though kids can go on longer than 18 years, I suppose.
I mean, they don't die at 18.
I'm you're on your own. Bye.
They don't just dissipate. But okay, yeah, I think that's how I would describe it. I would say it's a revenge drama.
I feel like it also touches on social classes too.
Yeah, but honestly, if you watch any K-dramas, they be touching on social classes.
Because they're very elitist?
Yeah. I mean,
in the dramas.
To, the
that's
country
just what you
of Korea,
guys portray in your dramas.
Yeah. Okay. So the first 4 episodes, I think that was really more of like an intro for like all of the characters, and then us kind of being able to kind of look into Moon Dong Hoon's like what brought her to where she's at right now, where she's getting revenge. And I didn't really enjoy watching. I
The
mean,
lead up, yeah, because it was
yeah,
very sad.
it was very sad.
There was like audio that was just very intense. That sizzling sound is kind of seared into. Oh, that's a clever. It's seared into my brain.
Yeah, I think I definitely like skipped through like
The flashbacks.
I would mute so I wouldn't hear the sounds because I can get triggered by sounds.
Yeah.
I can get triggered by seeing things as well, but seeing it and then hearing the sound of like a hot iron burning someone's skin is just not.
Yeah, that's actually like a hack for people that like watch scary movies and get scared easily. Like they don't cover their eyes, they cover their ears because usually like the audio is like what's very visceral and giving you that like reaction.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm the way I'm going to I guess talk about what I like all of my kind of thoughts. I would say overall, I truly enjoyed this drama.
Me
It
too.
took me a while to like actually
Get into
watch it,
Oh,
not get into it. I got into it from like episode 1,
same.
but to actually watch it took me a while to watch it because when it first came out, I wasn't like in the mindset to watch it. It just felt too intense because the first episode like kind of walks you through what everything that she kind of went through, and that's a hard
And
episode to watch.
yeah, there were so many traumas too. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
just like physical; it was also like mental.
Yeah,
It was
and there
also
was no like
some essay,
she had no happy place. Like her home wasn't even a happy place.
and her teachers she
Or
couldn't rely on.
she couldn't rely on her teachers. And I think for me, what also made it hard why I didn't watch it when it first came out was because they broke it into 2 parts. And the way I felt watching this, there's no way
You'd come back.
you were gonna cut me off at episode 8 when I want all these bitches dead. Like this is the kind of show that I need to binge watch and not like, oh, they dropped the first half and like 3 months later the second half. No, that's not gonna work for me. But some of the characters are very interesting. So I would say, for example, the doctor character. I want to get your thoughts on just the doctor character as a whole.
Initially, I thought he's a good-looking, cute man, but then also I thought he was kind of like very like aloof, and he does play into that. I feel like he often would like, especially with like, what's the woman's name? The main bully.
Yodin.
Yes. Like I feel like whenever they would have their interactions, he would play very dumb. And he'd be like, "Yeah, like, I don't know what you're talking about." Or like, "Oh," like he just looked very like happy-go-lucky, and he would say like random shit to make her like not catch on to him. Like she found
Yeah.
out very late like what his role is
Yeah.
in that story unfolding. But yeah, like I didn't pick up on the psycho vibes. I think you kind of picked up on it. Like, well, because he was very obsessive.
I first want to just say, like, I'm not licensed, so I don't want to call him like a psycho. I'll just say, there he doesn't have a normal approach response to when someone is doing something absolutely crazy. I want to say the actor. Sorry, what were you?
I was gonna say, well, his character does see some or experience some very traumatic things as well, which I'm like, we never really got to know him before that traumatic event.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel okay. I want to come back to that, but I want to touch on something you mentioned. So the actor that plays that doctor guy, Lee Do-yeon, every time I see him in a role, it's hard for me. And don't come for me if you're a fan. All the fans of what's his name, Lee Do-yeon, don't come for me. I just like he feels so boyish.
He does have
me.
like a baby face.
Like I just can't like look at him and be like, yeah.
The thing
I guess maybe I just don't like cute like guys. Like it just feels very young, and him kind of playing the aloof like characters sort of upsets the actual stuff that's going on. I've seen him play that role a couple times in different shows. This is not a detriment to it's what he put into the show, but yeah.
It cracked me up too that he would like lean into the whole handsome persona thing. Like he would often call himself the handsome doctor.
I have to just accept that. I have to also accept that that's what he is, because He's not ugly at all, but he just feels like a cute younger brother playing like an adult male. And he's not young either. So like when I say young, he's not like a 22-year-old. Like, but he just kind of has boyish
Yeah, the baby
looks.
face.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about like, so the doctor has trauma, right? His trauma comes from his dad being murdered by someone, by basically a killer who
no
he
one else
was
wanted
trying
to
to help.
treat.
Nobody else wanted to treat, was trying to help. And what triggered the killer is because the dad was like, call my son, tell him not to
I'm gonna
have
be late to
ramen.
ramen. Yeah.
And the killer is like, while I'm dying, you out here thinking about your son. So that's why he kills this guy that's actually trying to save your life. And then he proceeds to harass the doctor guy by sending him letters detailing how he remembers everything, the sounds and cutting the throat of, like, I was just like, sir, like, are we okay? Like, why are you even opening the letters from this man?
Yeah, that's kind of like an issue because like you can just throw away the letters, ignore the
but
letters.
I guess I've never been in that scenario, so I don't know what it'd feel like. But after the first one, I wouldn't open any other one, and he opened all of them, kept all of it in that little drawer in his house. So I feel like obviously he disliked the guy. Like,
well, he definitely has obsessive tendencies because like even the door code.
That's the word I'm looking for.
He has like the door code as like the inmate number of the man.
Yeah. He's definitely very interesting. I think the thing that was like, because I only watched this once, so I didn't like rewatch any episodes. And maybe if I rewatch episodes, I might have a different
take on it.
But like, okay, so we're kind of going all over the place, right? So in the scene towards the end where he tells her that basically where she thinks that she kind of pulled him in, he being known that she was going to come to him for help. Like all of those moments, he set it up where she meets him at the go place, he being known all this stuff. And I was like, for me, I don't know, it would feel like I would need to walk away from that interaction. Because
if you were Moon?
If I was Moon, yeah. Because I'm just like, we've been in this whatever situationship and you had never mentioned this. Also, it's like, I was going to use you, but before I could use you, you already
set up things,
like setting up things so that me and you can get together. Like, I would feel like you're a little like, this could be like, now you like me, but like if I ever went to leave you, this could be a problem. Like that's what my initial thoughts were about. I was like, you know what, this girl's been going through a lot. She deserves someone that's crazy enough to like want to be in her life and would set up the scene to do so. So
she found somebody who's gonna match her freak for sure.
100%. I said, are you guys not tired? I like going back to the doctor. Like at first, him quitting his job at his parents' hospital to go like
plastic surgeon.
Yeah, and start a whole new practice for a girl that literally ghosted you for 8 years. Like that level of obsession is, I don't know, would make
unfathomable.
Me would be like, I don't like, it feels a bit much.
Some people like extra. I like extra, so.
Extra? Someone did not move on in their life for 8 years and they quit their entire job on the spot to go start something. I mean, I guess he was a rich guy.
18 years.
I'm now, Pauli. Now, come off it. Of course, she hasn't moved on for 18 years.
That's true.
He's just obsessed with the girl.
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate.
You're doing it a little bit too well and unnecessarily. Yeah, I think he was definitely a very odd character. Okay, so one of the things that do you have anything that you kind of want to bring up? Because I feel like, because we need to put the co in host.
Yeah, I don't know. I just liked getting the story unfolding, and I liked that. I was worried that like the condo was haunted because how cheap it was. And I was really worried they weren't going to ever give us the context of like why the woman knows her, like the landlord, and like what their backstory was. And their backstory was very like heart-wrenching and sad, especially like during Suicide Prevention Month, which is the current month. They were both going to off themselves. They were both going to kill themselves, and they met in a lake. And like they were cussing each other out. I'm like, you shouldn't be killing yourself. She's like, girl, we're here in the same lake for the same reason. Make it make sense. But they saved each other,
funny.
so that was cute.
I honestly, in that scene, the thing I could focus on was on the old lady's wig. I was just like, we couldn't have done a little better, but you know what? That's not what they wanted me to pay attention to on that scene.
The budget went to the special effects of like the scars and things, and they couldn't go to the wig.
Yeah, so I thought the mushroom hair guy was going to be
more of a problem.
I mean, he is a problem.
Yeah, he was like an awful, disgusting.
Yes, a disgusting piece of doo-doo.
And also, the people that he worked with were kind of disgusting because, like, why did nobody report this or take action on this before Moon? Like, obviously that one guy helped her, but I'm like, you've been known. You kind of, probably wouldn't have done anything if Moon hadn't come along.
Yeah, maybe I can see, well, because I know I would have said something, but I feel like,
do you think it's maybe, like a cultural difference kind of thing?
Yeah, probably like the work culture difference. Like, I feel like maybe the people just felt like maybe that guy just has a little, like, you're really gonna have to put yourself involved to like get Henny. Because you know what I would say to Korea? Y'all's laws, and I'm talking about real life cases, y'all don't be punishing people well enough. People be doing terrible things to children and they be out of, like, they be getting very short sentences. There's no reason why somebody should have been arrested, put in jail for assaulting people, taking video recordings of them while they're under the influence, while you've attacked and assaulted them, and in this same lifetime you are out on the streets living your life. I just want you guys to, focus on what you should be focusing on. So maybe they just felt like, you'll be in there for like 2 years tops and you'll be back out, like,
like a slap on the wrist kind of thing.
Yeah, but like, really, I feel like with her, with Moon, like, Moon Dong-gu didn't have no fair. I mean, she had her trauma, but like, she was going to the end of the world. Her plan was basically on her life herself after she's gotten all her revenge. So she was willing to
risk it
all. I think my favorite part of this drama is I didn't really have a lot of, because I've seen a lot of revenge dramas where I always have like, oh, though I'm like rooting for you, like the fact that you just like killed that person yourself kind of puts me on a questionable standing with you. But with this drama, it felt like everybody else did the work. She kind of set the table. So, for example, in the beginning, the first couple episodes where the teacher who slapped her and also was not helpful and kind of partnered with Yeonju's family when he was killed in her, like, 18 years later, his son killed him.
Yeah.
Right? But that was a scene that she said, but she didn't have to be the one to get blood on her hands. She just kind of was like, yeah, I will just tell the truth as to like what you did. The son, being someone who prioritized his immediate family now and what that scandal could do for him, unalived his own dad. So revenge check, right? And then we have the drug dealer guy who was killed by, well, I have another comment to make about that. Killed by Yeonjin. But he, like, in the beginning, it kind of seemed like because she picked him to partner with, that like he might get like a lighter sentence in her revenge plan, which I did. Like, I was like, there's no way, because that man assaulted her sexually. Like, there's no way he's gonna get it passed. Like, I just knew she was gonna use him, and he got killed off, and she didn't have to be the one to do it.
Yeah, she just gave him information.
Yeah,
which turns out it was like information that couldn't even really be used against her.
Yeah,
her own mom threw her under the bus.
Yeah,
for some information that like really didn't help.
Yeah, I like first of all, Song Ye Kyo in this drama, she ate this role like completely. And so when next she has something new come out, I might check it out. But if it's like romantic melodrama, I'm not interested in that shit. Well, maybe if you're interested, I might check it out. But this drama itself was like just well done. What was I gonna say? that circle of friends, I don't know that they should consider themselves friends.
I mean, literally, she stabbed that one girl in the throat.
Oh yeah, the artist.
The artist. Which that was crazy. The way that unfolded with like her being in the church and like her
Dude.
doing the drugs and like also like getting herself off to what's his face? The drug dealer. Yeah.
That
was wild. And then the snake thingy coming alive in the app, that was just wild.
I have something to say.
Speak on it, sis.
I want to say something to the churchgoers in that scene who got a text from a random number saying there is some video that you need to check out, and they all left in the middle of the pastor doing his thing while they're in church for what? To listen to the word of God. They ran out like as if they're reporters. They ran out to go see this lady drugged out,
and they had their
touching
camera
herself,
flash
and they were taking. Like, y'all need to spend more time in church, actually, because there's something wrong with you to get a text from a random man's number and then just like run out to go see it. Like, that's insane. Like, go to church and do church stuff. But I guess I wasn't shocked that like
she got stabbed in the throat because she was always running her mouth, being messy. Like, these people have money, they have resources. They're also like crazy, for lack of a better word. Like, they are awful people that will do awful things. So why are you messing around? Like, she fucked around and she found out.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't feel bad for like anyone involved, and the reason is
because they could have put a stop to it.
She honestly needed to remember that she don't got no money. She don't got no powerful family. She don't got no connections. They are her connections.
Yeah.
And she be running her mouth like she got all of those things. Like, because they were at the funeral for the drug dealer guy, and she like sent that video. They were making fun of Sarah, the artist, because they were watching the video of her basically, you know, giving the dead drug dealer.
He wasn't dead at the time, though.
He wasn't dead at the time. He was alive. What's a very appropriate way to say? Anyways, she was on her knees.
Topping him off.
We'll just say she was on her knees, and you can kind of guess. And if you can't guess, then that means you're too young or too innocent to know what that means. But she was on her knees, but then the stewardess kept taunting her, and I'm just like, ma'am, this is when you leave. Like, no one is gonna have your back. Like, they literally have told you several times, like, if it wasn't Moon Dong-un, it would have been you.
Plus, why would you taunt somebody who's a drug user? Like,
and he's like literally out of control.
Yeah, they're unstable. Like, they're severing connections in their brain.
Yeah,
and they're like messing up their brain activity.
When she stabbed her in the neck, I said, you know, I don't know. I didn't feel anything. I was just like, I didn't want her to get out of the situation without having
unscathed.
Yeah. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I didn't want that to be her like exit, because I knew she wasn't gonna end up with colorblind guy, because he was never gonna like actually truly choose her. But yeah, they were never friends, never really cheated. They were just people that did terrible things, and that's what connected them until money kind of got in the way, and until all of their actions kind of got put in front of them, and they started to kind of stab each other in the back. Because Sarah thought, well, technically she wasn't wrong, because she thought that Yeonjin was the one that kind of blew up her little...
Well, yeah, she kept trying to sweep herself under the rug, because like it becomes revealed that like forecaster A was like a bully.
Yeah.
And then people just kind of put two and two together, because to this day she is a bully. And like she thought, oh, like my husband's money, my husband's like advertisements is gonna like save me.
Yeah, but then he was like, we're gonna divorce, so you're on your own.
Yeah.
And they blasted that everywhere. I want to ask you your opinions on the husband, on the character of the husband. Yeah.
Great looking man. I loved.
That's more my steez. I don't know. As I get older, I just older.
Yeah.
Like men that don't feel boyish.
Yeah, and I liked I can't remember who said it about him. I think it was colorblind guy, no, it was the doctor. He's like, yeah, like I felt kind of like intimidated by him, because like he wasn't too much, he wasn't too little, everything was just right.
Mhm.
Like he made the comparison of like a GQ magazine that his parents used to give him, where they would like have him select, or no, they would just pick for him whatever was on like page 16. And then he was like, yeah, like he just always felt like page 17 of a GQ magazine. She was like, how does that make sense? Like, what does that have to do with anything? He's like, oh, because like page 17 might have always been something like cooler than what was on his page. But yeah, like I just thought he was like a cool character. I was kind of worried that he was never gonna leave her because I don't know. He just seemed like he was very sensible and like even though he didn't love her and like he knew she was a terrible person, I think he probably cared about like appearances. But then he like totally switched that up. But
Yeah.
his mom sure cared about everything that they did because she went in there
She
with a
tore
golf
up that
club.
office.
She did.
Good for her.
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to what's the word? Understand his character.
His
Like
motivations or his like
yeah, like I
train
feel
of
like
thoughts.
so like one, the actor did a really good job with this role.
Like the whole
Um
Chable character. Chable, how do you say
no,
it?
with just like him acting out his emotions as he's finding out more things about this person that he chose to marry and the person who is the mother of his kid, of his child. Well,
It was actually really cool that, like, speaking of that, like, and you're alluding to it, that, like, even when he found out that that wasn't his biological
he
daughter,
said, "That's my
yeah, like,
daughter."
he was standing on business. He was like, I'm going to take care of her. These awful people don't need
Like,
to be in her life.
mm-hmm. And I don't know. I just was like, what is his like? Because even after she was kind of telling him, like Moon Dong Hoon was telling him like all this stuff that has happened, and he he got a sense that there's all this messy stuff, and he was like, well, I'm still gonna stay with her. I just was like, I'm trying to understand. I guess maybe the logic is keeping his family together, but I'm just like, do you want that to be? Because it's one thing if like, oh, she did this when she was younger, but she's a better human being now. She's not. So why was it up until the very last, like when he basically finds out that she kills somebody, and he's like, well, you have a choice to go apologize to the parents of this person, or this is the end. Bitch, even if she apologized, that's a whole lot
Doesn't
more. Like,
undo.
she's only doing that now to get herself out of the situation. If she chose to do that, I knew she wasn't going to choose to do that because that girl, she got egos from here to the end of the universe. But that was then it was like, okay, well, done. Post everything. They blasted that they were getting divorced everywhere. But I was just like, I like his character. Other than his like love for his daughter, like I was just like, I don't get your motivations and why you were kind of willing to stick, because he seemed affected by all the things that he finds out that his wife has done to people, and how not only is she's bullied more than one person, and the things she's done. When he saw the scars on Moondung's body, like he seemed affected by that. So why was this still up for discussion to end? Because he is higher ranking than her. So he can put out any news article to alleviate like like to make her really the bad guy. Like he doesn't need to be scared of
Oh,
leaving her
backlash. Yeah, or how the things
because
appear.
he got more power and more like all that girl can do is kill people. I mean, I guess that's that's a pretty that's a
Scary
pretty
thought.
scary thought. But yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't
maybe
get
he
him
has.
fully, but I think that man's fine.
He
That's
is.
all. Especially that one scene when she's like saying something and bangs his hand on the counter. I was like, ooh. I
For,
know this movie. I know this show is not about that, but ooh,
oh, and when he beat the shit out of colorblind guy too, like he did
yeah,
it so like such a cool character. Like he just like his tie was never out of place. Like he just was effortless in that.
yeah,
But I also like the moments where he would be happy and smile and stuff. And
yeah.
like when they were like in the convenience store and they were talking about was
The
it?
triangle
Yeah.
improv.
And she's like, you probably never had this. He's like, no, I never have had it. And at the end, I think he did end up having it somewhere, right?
Yeah, he like at the end. I think it was like one of the last couple scenes. He
Mhm.
went to that miniso, and then like he had it.
Speaking of the ending, like I feel like maybe he kind of has his own skeletons. Like I feel like he probably would never do anything that would be like mentally abusive or like mentally rude, but I feel like he would probably like have off people because like it's alluded to and it's kind of shown that he kills colorblind guy, which he killed him in a very crazy way too, like to make him be like buried allegedly in some concrete. That was wild.
Yeah, but like I feel like when you have that much power and that much money,
You could pay people to do it.
you could. I mean, he paid like, well, like people have. There's that group of men that both Moon Dong Hoon used.
Yeah.
Like everybody can pay anybody for anything. He probably just doesn't do evil as much in terms of like murdering people, but like in the business realm, he probably makes like he probably
Some-
makes things disappear or like makes does some things to get ahead in certain like partnerships. So there's probably things that he does because for you to kind of build a corporation, I'm sorry, but no billionaire is like getting to that much money without there being some
morally
negative,
questionable things.
yeah, morally questionable things. But I'm not, I'm not calling out no stands of nobody, I love music and stuff, but it's getting to billionaire status, you kind of have to potentially, I'm not a billionaire myself, so
Not
I don't
yet.
know. I'd never want to be. I just want to make enough money to live my life and do the things I like to do. And yeah, I think what we should do is go to our predictions, what we predicted, and then like talk through them.
Okay.
So I think I'll go ahead and I just want to say, I want to tell everybody how sick Paulino is. So when we were talking about predictions, when we recorded the first 4, he was like, I was like, we're talking about potential plot twists. And he was like, plot twist is the daughter Yesol kills somebody.
That would be unexpected.
I was like, that sweet little girl, nobody wants to see that. I was a bit concerned about her sweetness. Well, I guess I wasn't necessarily fully concerned when she was looking at the image of the green apple and the red apple and she couldn't see it and she threw the laptop into I was like, ooh, I hope your mom's not coming out of you right now.
Or your dad.
Like,
they're both psychos. Yeah.
I mean, her biological dad. Yeah. And so I was like, you could have just like closed the laptop, stormed away, throwing it inside it. Like that's rich people problems because no middle-aged or lower class child would throw away a laptop into a body of water simply because they can't see color on the screen. But she's a little girl, but she did not kill anybody. She was just a sweet little 8-year-old girl. But somebody really wanted that to be a plot twist. I mean, there are child murderers, but that would not be what we needed in the show at all. You want to go through like your predictions?
Sure. Sorry, I'm trying to read them.
Okay. Well, my first prediction was for me, since you were kind of trying to figure out to read your notes, the mushroom wig man. So my prediction was the mushroom wig man was going to be an annoying hindrance to her plan. And I think we mentioned this like briefly in this episode. He really wasn't. Like, I don't think it impacted any of her plans.
He just talked shit occasionally.
Yeah, like he just talked shit and that was it. But
and he tried to give her like grunt work.
Yeah, but beyond that, like he wasn't necessarily like getting in the way of her accomplishing anything. The only time I ever was liked the colorblind guy's character was when he beat that man the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, you need to beat him up for taking pictures of children on the playground when you are entrusted to protect these kids. Like, such a pervert. I was like, yeah, that wig he got on his head matches fully the energy he brought. I was like, what was the point of his character really, actually? Is it just to give colorblind a moment to go crazy? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why they added him there, because they didn't really show the school stuff as much. So like, what was the point of his character?
Like, literally when they fired her from the school, I was like, she barely be at that school anymore.
Like, she just be out here plotting. Do you have one that you want to share?
So there was the one where I predicted that she'll like take her revenge in a way that relates to like the wrongdoings that they did to them, which didn't really unfold.
Oh yeah, that
But
didn't really unfold.
I do like the revenge that she picked though. Like she like made colorblind guy like permanently blind. Like that was cool.
Yeah.
Or she didn't actually. She presented the means to
Let's
someone.
be clear, my girl didn't do nothing. She just
handed something.
helped people get to where they need to be.
Yeah.
I predicted that somebody in the group would die, and then those that don't die will go to prison. And it wasn't all the way wrong, because I think
Our
two
main
people
bully.
died. The colorblind guy and the drug dealer. And then almost everybody went to prison except for stewardess, but she can't talk no more. So it wasn't fully wrong, but I knew that there was going to be somebody within that group that would at least have to die for me to be okay with with everything that unfolds. One thing I did get wrong was that I predicted that she wasn't going to be romantically connected to the doctor or the to Yeonjin's husband, and I was wrong. She chose the doctor. They were together. They even had a kiss scene, and I don't know that I needed to see that, but
well, I mean, she was ready to like
leave.
unalive herself
Yeah.
and like go away from him, and then his mother was like, "Don't kill my son."
You know what's funny? Well, I don't know if I don't think it's not funny. When the mom showed up when she was gonna basically unalive herself from the building, I was like, how did the mom know where she was at? That was literally, even though this was like a very depth heavy scene, that was like that was the only thing I could think about. I was like, how did she know? Because the mom saw her when she came to the hospital to pay off the bill for when they kind of kept the body, and then that's where the mom did she start following her from there? Like, because anyways, I was just like, how did she find her? That was the only thing in my brain. But I'm glad that she didn't unalive herself, because I was like, listen, this is when you live your life. This is when you then like find a new joy in life, now that you've sort of like gotten your revenge.
But her new joy in life is getting more revenge.
Yeah, I was just like, so like, when are you gonna just like be doing something different? Like because like at some point it's dangerous, because you're playing with dangerous people. Like at some point wires are gonna get crossed. But
I mean, I guess in all fairness, like that is pretty cool that like it's one hand that washes the other. Like he helped her with his or her revenge, she's helping him with his revenge.
I just want to say, I hope that may a love like that never find me. Because I don't want to be helping nobody with no revenge. But like, yeah, I feel like it felt like a very codependent relationship, but I'm also not licensed, so what do I know? I did predict the doctor guy will be a bit of an unstable guy who'll be willing to do the dirty work for her. It might kill someone for her, but then I said, but then maybe the plot twist could be that the husband guy is the one that actually kills somebody for her because he falls for her. This is right and wrong. The doctor guy definitely was a bit, unstable and would have been willing to kill for her. I remember going back to the first 4 episodes where they kind of meet in the hospital where he got beat up. We still
don't know the context.
Don't know who did that to him.
Yeah.
And it triggers me because I'm just like, why even have that scene?
Yeah, why not tie up that loose end?
Yeah, like why not bring it? Like why not address like
and like he literally worked in that hospital, so like they could have met naturally just with him working. Like
they didn't need to be. I don't know. It just felt like, anyway. So from that, I was like, oh, that man got some stuff going on. So like he definitely just seems like just a very odd person, but he didn't actually kill anyone for her. The husband, Yeonjin's husband, did kill somebody, but not for her. I don't feel like I feel like maybe I could twist it so there was a part of it, but like the killing he did wasn't for her.
Yeah. One that I got right was that I thought that Moon wouldn't kill Yeonjin, which she didn't. She just said, "Let me make your life a living hell. Let me." Technically, like let me set it up so that you and your mom be in the same prison and your mom ignores you. That shit cracked me up.
She's like,
when they were walking.
Mom. She's like, yeah,
and
yeah.
her mom was like, I don't know that woman. Like,
not even a second did she flinch when she saw her own daughter. I agree. I never said that part, but like I see why, because Moon Dong-hoon's plan was to basically take away everything that she loved, and she did so. She took away her husband, her daughter, everybody in her friend group, her mom, her job, and her freedom, and her access to glory that she got from her husband and being connected to him. She took away everything.
Tarnished that rep.
Everything. And I think that the last thing that she did to her before she got arrested was the part where she basically got her to see that her mom would choose herself over her daughter, so that she knew that this very last person has now like deserted her.
And she really gave her a taste of her own medicine, because they set it up where like Moon's mom betrayed her too.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, speaking of that, so I had a prediction that someone might end up getting burned. I feel like that one came really close with like the whole apartment scene with like the
her mom saying
they were making barbecue and she like did that thing, which her mom's character kept pissing me off, because I'm like, why are we dealing with her? Like, why?
She pissed me. I was getting so enraged. Like, granted, all the characters pissed me off. Like her mom character was just from the core of my being was a very irritating person.
But here's what I don't understand. Like, all those gifts that the mom got, were they from the parents of the students in Moon's class, or what was that about?
I think it was like, I think it had probably that, because she kept calling, doing the rounds.
But every time they would show her interactions with like the moms, they would be unaffected by her, and they like didn't care about her.
I think they showed a couple moms, but if she's like the mom of a teacher that kind of had, she probably kind of kept harassing them
until she found the ones that would do something for her.
Because she had a list of names. I would say real quick, I predicted that when lead bully guy finds out Yesol is his daughter, it will be a problem under the guise of protecting his daughter, and it will be the character that dies. So when I said somebody's going to die in that friend group, I was predicting that it would be him. We already talked about the mom, where we felt like she was just a little bit, she was annoying. Her time was just, I just wish they just shortened the time we saw her.
Yeah, it's like, how do we not have a way to deal with her more quickly? Like, she's so annoying.
But her comeuppance is, she signed away her daughter in the beginning by like signing the like reason for dropping out of school, and now her daughter signed her away to go be in a mental hospital for the rest of her life. So I guess
she took so much joy in being like, I'm the only family you've got.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And I was hoping that the housekeeper turned private investigator doesn't die, and I'm glad that she doesn't die. I hope that she and her daughter gets reunited soon, because that woman went through a lot. Well, both the mom and the daughter with their very abusive dad, and I didn't feel bad that he died, because that I can't even imagine living a life like that, and how difficult it would be to just even be able to like smile and have things you can be happy about. But I'm glad that things turned out okay for her, and I'm glad that she, I guess towards the end, she must have been bored, so when she got reactivated, she's like, let's do it.
She said, let me throw on my red lipstick. Like, let me be Miss Spy again.
Yeah. And the last thing I would say on my end was the basically towards the end of the show, we find out that Yeon-jun didn't actually kill the drug dealer. Like, the person that dealt the death blow was the worker in the shop. Mm-hmm. And when they like flash back to when he was assaulting her, I said, yeah, I don't know why you thought this girl was gonna help you call the police and get you help when you assaulted this lady. Die, like, you should die anyway. But Yeon-jun is in prison for that crime that she didn't actually. Granted, he could have died, but she wasn't the one that did that final blow, and I'm okay with that.
And that was such like a mind fuck to her too, because then Moon
was telling her like she knows something. She's like, what do you know? What do you know? Yeah, yeah, that was yeah. Overall, I think it was a really good show.
Yeah, it was good.
overall. I really enjoyed it. I think that I probably wouldn't watch something exactly like that anytime soon. It was a lot for me, and I think because I watched a lot of episodes, like I binged to watch them, so it was like just too much at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But I am glad that like she found somebody that she can like love and trust, and a partners like just have some wins in her life. And then hopefully after they get their revenge for Doctor Guy, they can
chill
just
life.
yeah, they could just like do regular couple things and not like roll up to prison and try to like unalive a serial killer or what. I don't even know what his initial crime was. But with that said, this concludes our discussion on the Glory. This is our first ever kind of like vibing together. Next week we are going to be talking about 2 new dramas.
I'll be sure to not be hungover next time.
So we're going to be talking about The Judge from Hell and the one. What do you usually call the show? The second one.
It's called No Gain, No Love.
Oh, look at him! For the first time ever, gets that right.
Yeah, I was calling it No Pain,
No
No
pain,
Love.
no love. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna be talking about when we see you guys next week, Wednesday.
And enjoy our new outro music.
Yeah, enjoy our new outro music. This is a custom made song for this podcast.
Lyrics by Pauli.
Lyrics by Pauli, really. If they sound cringe, that's because they were made by Pauli.
And if you love them, that's why they're made by Pauli too.
With that said, we're gonna go ahead and go home because I'm too old to be out this late. I mean, it is only almost 4, but I feel like I should be in my house right now. So we'll see you guys next time.